Scorpio season is here. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to slide right into this read. I'm very excited. Very, very excited here. This has been a, look at that. The death cards on the bottom here. I'm going to use the Halloween deck for fun, obviously. Eternal cycle begins here. Apologize for being gone for a little while, but there's times in my life when I know if the energy's not right, I'm not going to pull a read. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not here for money. This isn't my only job, so I don't have to force a read out. And if my energy's not with it, then, I'm not with it. So I'm going to... Anyways, acceptance. And we're going to stop there. Lady de los Muertos. Acceptance and equality. Because this is a time of radical acceptance of yourself and others. So we got here Marmbrock, sweetness and synergy. I love it because synergy led me to my name. And then we have hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. You got to have happiness in your heart and homes first. And so you can bring that out into the world, let your light shine. If your light's not going to shine in your house, how or where will it shine outside of your house? So I like where this read's already started. This Scorpio season, this is something I shared this already, and a lot of people think that Scorpios are just, we know we're hot, we know we're fly, we know we got it all, but we still need lifted up just like everybody else. We still need some, some support, some reassurance, whatever. But let's just see. I'm going to go ahead and stop here because it's telling me to stop here. And I see why. Yep, I see why. Oh yeah, this is a lovely start. This is one of the best. I'm gonna say this now. This is one of the best Scorpio season starts that I have been a part of, which has been, should I say how many years it'll? Okay, so anyhow, we've got the King of Wands, Tower of Justice, Ten of Wands, and what I love is the very final card. I'm gonna give you the spoiler alert: the High Priestess. I wanted to fast forward through all of this because I wanted to get to this High Priestess because it. Regardless of me not pulling cards online, don't think that I have stopped doing the work. Don't think that I have stopped pulling cards. Don't think that I haven't stopped paying attention to what's going on in the tarot community. Like I said before, the way I am now, it's almost like, different pastors talk to different pastors. You want to ask, what's God saying? So when I watch tarot, I want to know, what is tarot saying? It's the same thing. What is God saying in tarot? Now, we get to cheat a little bit. And yeah, we're going to stop here because we've got the Ten of Wands here. We got the Ten of Swords in the bottom of this deck, which is the Light Seers. I don't know why. I didn't even actually think about picking it up. Beautiful. See, Two of Cups. Okay, so wow, this is good. This is good. Okay. The camera didn't stop. I had to... Okay, so what we have here... I love... Okay, I'm trying to really... Where do you want me to start here, Spirit? I'm starting right here in the middle because we have the Wheel of Fortune that is clarified under the Justice. So, in the past, you really thought there was somebody that was... Because this is turning into like God, I don't even want to say it's a love read, but I mean the Two of Cups is here in the past, clarified underneath this King of Wands, who this King of Wands is looking back into no man's land, and this is the lower vibrational King of Wands. And I only say that because following right after that is the Tower card. So clearly that this is somebody that you got rid of in your past. This King of Wands, this I don't want to say in and out energy because that's the Knight of Wands, but but and you know because of you ending this, the Tower happened, and then the Sun is clarified under the Tower, and then what I like is the center here where I was starting is the Justice under I'm sorry, the Wheel is under the Justice card. So there is justice coming into this Scorpio collective, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in the Scorpio collective we are starting to get our justice, because we've been mistreated, misunderstood, misheard, misguided, misled. And I think that with the help of platforms like this, people are starting to understand a little bit more about Scorpios. And there is a reason there are more Scorpios in the world than any other zodiac sign. And yes, okay, I get it. It is from Valentine's Day. But see, God works in mysterious ways. The universe has had this mapped out from the beginning, right? With that old philosophy of everything's happening all at the same time, future, past, present. And so the justice that we are finally walking into is the fact that the wheel is now turning for us. We are going to be able to reap the benefits of our steadfastness, of our continually, and we make it look easy. This right here, this card here, like this dude, I mean, if you see, he's leaning into it. So he's having it's fine. If you've ever had to carry a heavy load, this is, if it was really that heavy, you wouldn't be walking like this. Trust me. But this dude's doing it with ease. And that's what Scorpios are really good at. And if you talk to any Scorpio, I mean any Scorpio, and they really tell you the truth about what they went through, you'd be like, damn, how did you do that? How did you make it out of that? How did you? And it's because we're Scorpio. I mean, and I can say that to you because you know what that means. But to the cross watchers, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means we have that tough exoskeleton. It's almost like bulletproof. To me, that's the way I've seen it. It's like bat shields. It's bulletproof. But inside, just like the crab, inside, remember, is the softest, gushiest, mushiest. If it ain't cooked, if you've ever opened a Scorpio or a crab uncooked, it is the mushiest, gushiest. It's like the mussels that people eat, which is, yeah, I love seafood, but I'm sorry, I don't do the escargot. So anyhow, but what I love about all of that, I said all of that to say this: with the wheel underneath the justice, we're getting our justice on the karmic wheel. We have, and then that's what this is almost feeling like this past here that is finally over with this Tower, and occurring here, and then the Sun underneath of it, which is the most abundant, most beautiful card that you can pull of any deck ever. And it's like an ending of karmic past. And you know the generational curse thing is thrown out there a lot onto people, but it may not, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's an actual, like, curse that some voodoo witch has put on us. It's things and decisions that we've made, because sometimes the karma that we will pick up is other people's karma. See, because in this here, those wands aren't necessarily all of our wands. We will take other people's wands because, we are that strong, that resilient. It's not a problem. I will take it. That's fine. I will carry that too. I will carry that too. Yeah, I will take that. It's fine. And people ask how or why. Well, it's our resilience. And what the and see, so the reason why, okay, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm gonna slow down a bit. Okay, so underneath of the Ten of Wands, though, is this devil energy. So sometimes the wands that we're carrying for other people are for manipulation. Because sometimes, people do understand Scorpio and they do know that we will carry their wands, no problem. So even though they themselves can carry that wand, they know that it's easier for us to do it. And we have no problem, so they will give it to us. I didn't realize this read was going to get into here, but it's almost like this is a message where Spirit is saying it's time for Scorpio to understand, realize what wands are necessary to be carried. Are we to carry anybody else's wands? Because this is an individual journey. Because the final cards here is the High Priestess with the Four of Pentacles underneath. Because what ends up happening if you start carrying everybody else's wands? And you start caring more about the other person's struggles. When you start really focusing on the other person's struggles and issues and problems more than yourself. It's kind of like the twin flame journey where, instead of focusing on each other's issues and problems, when you turn to yourself and do it on yourself, then that's when they can come together. Is when that individual, so it's almost like the person who is on the true twin flame journey and does that real work and then actually comes together with their twin flame, they're ahead of the game. Now we should all be that way, twin flame or not, because then when you do come together, it is a healthy connection because you're not bringing other wands and baggages into that relationship. Because why? You've turned to yourself and done it yourself. And we're not raised this way. We're not taught this way. We're taught that we have to have a therapist, or hopefully mommy and daddy gave you enough attention when you were a kid, right? No, this is something that should have been trained from birth. Is that you need to carry your own wands. And if the other person can't, I understand sometimes you're going to have to carry other people's wands for just temporary, temporarily, and assist them in figuring out how to carry those wands themselves. You support them. It's no different than the old metaphor, whatever you want to call. I don't know what it would be considered, but you can take a horse to the water, but you can't drink for him. The same thing as, I can bring fish home every day and feed my kids or my family, but if I don't teach them how to fish, they're always going to be dependent on me. They're always going to be, so I think you see where I'm going with this, but this is time for Scorpio. See, because remember, the first card that came out was the sweetness and the synergy. It's synergy. So synergy is not only your energy. Synergy is you know both. It's two entities working together at the same energetic level. And that's what Scorpio's been wanting forever. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but in the collective, in our community and outside of it even, there is a mass, not only a mass awakening. The awakenings are happening faster. They're happening more. They're also happening rapidly. Once awakened, like, things that you and I have maybe spent months or even years to figure out and understand. Some of these people are coming into learning this stuff, and then boom, only a few weeks, they have chakras opening. They have, because the information is so easily to get. But at the same time, what's happening is what you're seeing is because there's a big lie, obviously, that's being put in front of our faces about how horrible everything is. Well, what happens then is everyone is going to affirm how horrible everything is. So then it's able to be continued. The energy is able to carry through. But if everyone would just affirm the opposite, because what do we know? What do we know about our own little affirmations? If I'm affirming that I am the first multimillionaire in my family, but I only have 35 cents in my bank account, which I don't know how much is actually there, but you see what I'm saying? So it sounds silly to say it because that's like, well, wait a minute, I'm not anywhere close to that yet. But that's because I need to get on that vibrational level so that the 3D reality will catch up. It's the same thing as asking for it and already knowing that you have it, already feeling that you have it, already smelling it. And so, with this mass awakening, this rapid mass awakening with radical acceptance coming into this esoteric world is quickly going to become, and I'm here to, this is my prediction, my prophecy, or whatever you want to call it, but we're going to see the esoteric turn into the exoteric. It's like, I don't even know, I don't know if anyone has looked into how close that we are to this, but think about it. The esoteric is becoming the exoteric. And that is why the other side is being ramped up. That is why you're seeing the devil more and more popping up in reads. That is why you're seeing this world showing you more and more and more devastation and more hatred and all of this other stuff. Because then a song like Richmond, North of Richland comes out and shows you actually the opposite is more true, is true. That this world is actually coming together on an energetic level. People who have never met before are ascending together and showing each other how to do it. Teaching each other, because it's not being taught anywhere else. Why? Because if we know how to stand on our own, if we all know how to carry all of our own wands, nobody's codependent on anybody. Everybody's carrying their own loads. And then what? It's harder to control them. So that's what I love about this time right now being alive, because we are witnessing history and we don't even know it yet. Everyone thinks it's a bad type of history, but I'm telling you what, and because we're saying this, I'm going to go ahead. See, where there's a will, there's a way. And there are more and more of these channels opening up, more and more life coach channels. Like, you don't have to go and spend $100 or $500 an hour on a therapist anymore. Now, don't get me wrong; those experiences are amazing, and I am thankful for having it. Because if there's one thing that we cannot lose out on is actual physical connection with people out in the world. We can't shove ourselves down in this online world because this will not be possible then. Take the weight of the world off of your shoulders. My high vibes heal the world. I'm telling you, didn't we had these already before. Truth is my teacher. And anything that anybody says online, definitely don't just take all their words at face value, because we're all wrong today versus tomorrow. Because yesterday, remember what you believed. There was a time in my life when I didn't believe God. And it's not that I denied God or denied Jesus or hated him or any of this stuff. It's just logically, scientifically, it didn't make sense until I actually had the full on experience and feelings, and it's overwhelming. It's one of those things you can't put into words. But somebody else who's had it, they know what that is, and they know what that feels like. But most times you got to get mad about that. You got to get really serious about your situation. I'm really drawn to the fact that there's a lot of fire in this. There's fire, 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 fire. So the passion is increased within the Scorpio nation, the Scorpio tribe, and we are witnessing history, and we are the biggest. I'm telling you, we are the biggest part of that, because the reason there are so many Scorpios, and I came back to the story. I didn't forget about the story. I came back to the story now because Spirit said now's the time to say the next part. The reason why there's so many Scorpios in this world, and I've said this before, but I guess I have to say it again, is because we are transformation. We are transformation. How many times in your life have you said some shit to somebody and you're like, oh man, I cannot believe I said that to him. I feel kind of bad, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you may have lost that friendship, that relationship, somebody in your family, whatever, for a time. And they won't sometimes even admit it, because that's the other part of the misconception of Scorpios. People don't want to let you know when you did that. People don't want to let a Scorpio know when you transform their life, because they feel like then that's going to get you a big head or blah, blah, blah. No, you're going to realize and understand if they would say that to you, then you would say, yes, I understand that. And that's why I said what I said, even though I didn't want to say what I said. But it had to be said. And it's hard, and you've really got to talk yourself into it. And it's like, and then you don't say it, but then that person triggers it, and there it is, boom, it just comes right out, and it feels good, as long as it's the truth. As long as it's the truth. This was an odd read. I don't even know what kind of read this is, but I'm pulling more on worldly things all of a sudden, I guess. At least tonight, I don't know. But we can't worry about the whole world. That's why this card had to come out. Because we're letting other influences control what we worry about. We let all these outside influences control what we worry about. That's why you got to watch what you watch. Years ago, I stopped having the TV on at night, especially, well, this was back when, actually, where it must have been at my parents' house or something. It was cable. Uh, the It was an infomercial on, and I remember waking up in the middle of a dream, and I remember dreaming about this particular infomercial, and I remember it was like a lucid dream, almost, I could say. And the infomercial was actually still playing. So I don't go to sleep with any TV on anymore. Even Netflix. So anyhow, we don't have to have the weight of the world on our shoulders. It's okay to worry about the world, but let's just manifest for the world, that 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 this shift, this change in it's a change in power. That's what we're witnessing here. And so what's happening is the devil now knows what's going on. And so he's got to work harder. He's got to work harder. He's got to work harder because why? Because everybody else is starting to carry their own loads. Everybody else is starting to figure out exactly what's going on here. And exactly what is worth worrying about and what isn't. Because it's no different than Monsters, Inc. If we can get everybody to be in this fear and this negativity, keep the vibration there, keep the frequency there. But what happens if we all get empowered enough and we all have introspected enough and have enough faith in ourselves that we are up here now as a whole? The Earth's vibration is it's already happening. You see, I'm not talking hypothetical. This is actually what's happening right now, and the Earth's vibration is raising. That's why it's almost like time seems to be sped up at times. And that's why you have to go back to yourself. And then all of a sudden everything will go back to normal. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so we're getting in our time here. Let's see what the advice would be from the Psychic Phoenix deck. We have numbers. Synchronicities speak. As long as you look into them, sometimes you have to, and I do this, keep them all down, look them all up, and you'll figure out what the universe is screaming at you, because that's what ends up happening. It's like, okay, I get it. We're in the number 26 card, which is the number 8, my favorite number. The abundance, frequency, vibration, number, whatever you want to call that. Seeing number sequences will guide and enlighten you. Exactly what I just said. You have received this card as the universe is communicating with you via number sequences. Our entire world functions with numbers, and you were assigned to your own personal set of numbers on the day you were born. This is interesting, and carry them throughout your entire life. These numbers can vary significant as to who you are, what your future life path is, and what type of personality traits you have. Your entire life is connected to personal forms of identification through numbers. Your home has its own numbers as part of your address. Your car has number plates. You have phone numbers, PIN numbers, identification numbers, and credit card numbers, just to name a few. Your name can be broken down into numbers, and your life path can be determined by numerology. And I actually I stumbled upon, and I forgot to go back to this because I want to do it, and maybe you should too. That's why I'm bringing it up. But you can actually break your name down, attributing, assigning a number to the letter, and get in deeper into your own numerology. I'm excited to try that here soon. Each year is governed by a different number, and you will constantly see numbers in the form of the time flashing past you. Because I'm a life path number 1, 1111 has always been the number that I've seen since I was probably 17 or 18. And now sorry about that. The camera stopped. So I'm not sure exactly where I was at. The universe is constantly trying to get your attention in many ways. Some people are more connected than others to universal spiritual messages in the form of repetitive number sequences. Your loved ones, spirit guides, and angels also communicate with you via number sequences. The numbers card is a sign from above to remind you to be aware and open to the number sequences being given to you. Do you constantly see number sequences such as 1111 or 2222? Do you see sequences such as your oh, that's actually did they make a mistake? Do you see sequences such as your or your loved ones? Oh, okay, no, they didn't. Okay, sorry. Here we go. I'm back. Do you see sequences such as your or your loved one's birth dates, anniversary dates, or the date of someone's passing constantly flash at you? This is because the universe is trying to get a message to you. Numbers are a sign that your hopes and dreams are manifesting with your current thoughts. Be open to receiving the numbers and be aware of what you are thinking about, as your thoughts will become your reality, which is odd because that is part of my sign off. And this is what's happening. Scorpios already know about the number sequences. What I know now and what I'm seeing with the Scorpio nation is that Scorpios are done. Scorpios are done being nice. We have pulled our energy back and we're waiting for somebody who's actually going to appreciate that energy. And if you don't, we're going to pull it back again. And you might think that Scorpio's breadcrumbing. We're seeing what you're going to do with that little bit. I've said it before. We're seeing what you're going to do with that little bit. Because we done already been down these roads many, many times. And we're done. We're sick of it. We're the most loyal. You'll figure that out. But the problem with it is you figure that out when it's too late. It's already too late. We've already pulled our energy completely back, and now we're moving on. Scorpio doesn't sit around and wait. Scorpio doesn't sit around and hang out for whenever you decide you need a little more Scorpio energy. No, we're ready to share reciprocally, something like that. No, we're not playing games. We don't like games. When in fact that's the biggest turnoff for a Scorpio that you're gonna find. You play games? Yep. That's it. We're done. As soon as we catch you in it, it's not that we can't play games. We can play games better than you. It's pointless. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Testing each other, whatever. It's stupid. Nope, like I've always said, either you is or you ain't. So Scorpio's gonna sit here and give you everything they got. If you're willing to take it, appreciate it, and give some back. But as soon as we figure out that, you know what, I am giving way more than I'm getting. And it's not that we expect to get back. We don't ever give to, because we already know that we have so much. We already know we aren't going to get anywhere near back what we're giving out and what we have. But when we don't even get half, it's like, okay, hold on. I feel like my energy is being taken advantage of. I have an energy vampire around me, and some people don't even realize that they're doing it, that they're addicted to your energy. And I don't even mean just your partner, your relationship, just anybody in your life. But if we're not getting it back, we're going to pull it back. That's the Scorpios that I'm seeing now in the collective. Scorpios who, if we ain't getting it back, we're pulling it back. We've realized that, because, and at least in my case, there's times in my life where I'm trying to rush things to the end. because you have that expectation and it's not happening fast enough, or whatever it is. Because you're not trusting the process, you're rushing the process. And this is part of the glow up and grow up and the downloads that I've been receiving since like I said, it's not like if I'm offline, then now I'm, doing, once you all know that once you're in this, once you're awakened, uh, there's no going back. So I'm speaking to a Scorpio nation who is sick and tired of being sick and tired. I used to hate it when my dad would say that. And I'd say, Dad, I'm sick and tired of you saying you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So that's where we're at. That's where Scorpio Nation is at now. And that's why I know that this is the biggest, best start of this Scorpio season. It's had the highest energy coming in. The kickoff prior to in the Libra season was our eclipse season. And now we got this bright, brilliant, beautiful blue moon coming on the 28th. And now we're about to blow up. We're about to shine. It's our time to shine. I'm excited to see where this is going to lead us. I keep my eye on us. So, with that, I'm going to leave you with this. To please watch your thoughts, they will become your words. And please watch your words, they will become your habits. Please watch your habits, they will become your character. And, I will see you on the north side.